Do you feel the vibes?
Hey YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so I took a big leap of faith and I decided to change every single bulb in my house to LEDs. Used to have these kind, so this is a CFL bulb. These use around 14 watts, and I believe this is a 2700K color, so this is very yellow. These are E26 base, and then we have our BR30 bulbs here, which are also CFL type. Let me read this. This is a, let me see, this is also a 2700K, 700 lumens, and it's a 15 watt bulb. This other one is a 14 watt. So now let's compare it to the LEDs that I bought. I bought these Hyperikon or Hyperikon, however you want to call them. This is the E26 base A19 type bulb. This is a 4000K. It's a daylight color bulb. It's very gives off a very nice white light, and it comes in this type of packaging. It comes in with its tag. It says we've got you covered. It's basically warranty on this bulb. And also tells you here where you can reach them: Facebook, Twitter, call them if you have any problems. But this bulb is super nice. It only uses 9 watts of power, and I believe it's a it's an 840 lumen, so 60 less than the CFL variant. But it is, I mean, the color is way nicer, and it's just better overall. So here we have it. You can see the markings on there. LED 9 watt bulb, and it's a very nice bulb. Alright, now here we have the same, sorry, not that one. Here we have the same brand, Hyperikon. This is a BR30 variant, and it's also a 4000K LED, and this one is only, let me see, this one is 640 lumens versus your CFL type, which is 700 lumens. So only 60 lumen difference, but you can definitely tell the difference with the color and the amount of brightness. These LEDs are instant on. CFL type bulbs take a long time to turn on, and even then, when they're at full brightness, they're not as bright as the LEDs. These guys lose brightness as they start aging, and LEDs will do that too, but they don't do it as fast as CFLs. And then here we have this Trimongo bulb. Let me see, it has some markings on it. It's a 130 volt, 75 watt, 610 LM bulb. This also has the same screw-on base. It's an E26, and it's a bulb that you use outside on your security lights and all that. But I decided to put it in a BR30. I know it's not the same amount of brightness. This is, I believe, is 1500 lumens versus 600, but I'll do a video later on in the future when I find the correct bulb that I can replace this guy with, because you can see it's a big size difference. So here you can see the different types of colors that I used on our lamps. I used a 3000K light bulb, which is going to be a little bit more yellow, and it basically gives you like a more calmer mood in the room. On your places where you want lots of light and you need to be able to see correctly, I decided to use the 4000K light bulbs, which are much more wider and they give off a better color representation. And let me put this shade back. really tell the difference between these two guys. One is yellow, while the other one is a more daylight color versus a warm white. Here we see that it's using 9.4 watts of power, which is very close to what the box says. It says it uses 9 watts, 9.4. I'm okay with that. So let's click on this. There you see 16.6 volt amps. We are running at 60 hertz. This is the US. Here we have a power factor of 0.56. Our voltage line, it's jumping up and down, but it's around 122 volts. 0.13 amps. And again, we're back to 9.4 watts. And we're going to be comparing that to the 4000K bulb and the CFL. We're going to be comparing wattages and all that, and we're also going to be using the Seek thermal camera on my Android phone so we can check surface temperatures and all that. LED bulbs are very efficient. They don't use too much power. The LEDs themselves do not heat up, but the power circuits behind them do heat up. So we're going to be checking that out, checking how safe it is to touch it and everything. Here we're seeing the lamp in thermal. Let me see if you guys can see something here. There we have the Killawatt. It's kind of warm. Let me go up. Alright, there you can see the bulb. So now let's remove the lamp shade so we can take a look at it better. There we go. Move the bulb. So this guy is the 3000K light bulb. You can see here, I mean, it's kind of warm to the touch. My hands are actually cooling it, it's dissipating some heat on me. But the surface temperature of it is around 106, 108 Fahrenheit. This doesn't hurt me when I touch it. This is really good. So you can see that the LED is not emitting a lot of heat. Almost none. None amount of heat being dissipated as heat. I mean, no amount of power being dissipated as heat. That's a very efficient lighting. But now we start looking at the power circuit behind it. You can see it's around 194 Fahrenheit, 190. Just moving around there. There's a sticker on there. That's very hot. I wouldn't want to touch that. I would probably burn myself. So this is a reason why some LED bulbs and some light bulbs tell you not to use them in an enclosed fixture. It would be very bad for the power circuit would fail and the LED would just turn off or catch on fire. But this is mainly what fails on LED bulbs, the power circuits behind them, not the actual LEDs. So there we go. Now let's do a comparison of the CFL bulb. We'll let it turn on and warm up and we'll see different temperatures on it. So here we have the CFL light bulb. It's using around 13.1, 13.2 watts, and actually been seeing it go down on the amount of power it's using. It's been on for a while, and it started out at 14.2 watts, 14.3, and now it's gone down a whole watt. But we can see that it's more than the LED, and just from my perception, this bulb seems less bright, and obviously it's a more yellow light. So here we have the CFL bulb. See, the power circuit is around 100 Fahrenheit, but what is interesting is that the actual glass, the gas that's used in there is very hot. You already see it's around 198, 180, 190 Fahrenheit. There we see some hot spots. Okay, so here we can see on the CFL our hottest temperature around 205 Fahrenheit. Here we have the 4000K A19 bulb. You can start seeing that it's using 9.6 watts of power, and as it heats up it actually goes down. So you can already see that it's going down to 9.5. Here we have a chandelier with 5 bulbs in it. You can see that the surface temperature of the glass on the outside is around 90 Fahrenheit, 91. It's not that hot. These LEDs do not emit that much heat. Let's take a look at the inside. So here we see surface temperature of the plastic around 106. Let's see if I can get down in there. No, unfortunately I cannot see the bottom power circuit down there. But we can see if we start getting closer down to the bottom, it's around 118 Fahrenheit, 117. So these bulbs are not that hot. So now moving on to the fan. You can see this guy. Let's see, glass temperature out here is actually touching. It's around 84, 81. It's not that hot. 81, and those hot spots you see up there are actually reflections off of the metal. Heat reflects off of metal, and it's not a good way of checking your actual temperature. So here, if I'm getting the reflection, tell me that metal is around 106, but it's really not at that temperature. So here we can see the complete bulb. So out here on the surface of the plastic, it's around 100 Fahrenheit. It's not that warm. But as we start moving back, ooh, there we go. 205 Fahrenheit on this power circuit. See that? That's our hot spot right there. So this is a semi-enclosed fixture. Bottom of it has this glass dome, and it's open from the top, and you can see we already got around a 10-degree increase in temperature. Here we have a completely enclosed fixture. Let's look at the surface temperature. It's around 91, 95, let's see, towards the center, 97, 99 Fahrenheit. So this one is a little bit hotter than your typical installation, but let's open it up and look at the temperature of the bulb, see if they're under any stress or anything like that. So I opened the enclosure, and here we have the light bulbs. Let's see. Oof, 225 Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot, but still within tolerance. These things are not gonna catch on fire or anything like that. Let's see, 113, 100. Yeah, they might get hot, but there's no problem leaving these guys inside an enclosure. And these have been there for a couple of weeks, and I haven't had any problems. Here we have the Hyperikon 4000K BR30 LED variant, and here we find something very interesting. So according to Hyperikon, the A19 bulb is a 820 lumen bulb, and it uses 9 watts of power. But this BR30 bulb, which is around 600 lumens, I believe. Let me see if I can see that. No, I can't. But it's a lower lumen count. Yes, 640 lumens. It's supposed to use more based on the wattage that's posted on the box, but that doesn't make sense. Because LEDs, the more power you consume, the more light you produce. So these BR30s are actually supposed to be 10 watts. They are not. They are lower. They use around 7.9 watts. 8 watts, which makes sense. It explains the reduced lumen count on the bulb. Now moving on to the recessed lights, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. This big guy over here is a fan, but there's a light behind that, and 6. It's right there, you can see it. So number 5 and number 6. So I have my AC out here at around 72, 73 Fahrenheit. That's what you're looking at. See the temperature up here, one of these recessed lights. So here we have it. So this is a little bit more enclosed. The surface temperature is around 124 Fahrenheit. This is a bigger LED. This is a BR30 variant. Let me see if I can take a look in there. 113. No, I can't seem to get it in there. 118. Yeah, that's about it on the how hot this one will be. So this one again is not that hot. We have the BR30 CFL bulb right here, and it's supposed to be a 14 watt bulb, but we see it using 13.1, 13.0, and dips down to 12.9. Starts heating up and it starts going down, but I'm gonna use 12.9 watts for this bulb. And of note, this bulb is really old, so the light output is not consistent. You turn it on and it's like nothing happens. It takes around 3 to 4 minutes to warm up, or even more. And then the light output right now is almost nothing. So we're getting no light output for 12.9 watts. You can see that the bottom part of it is around 108 Fahrenheit. Start moving towards the top. This is a bulb that has glass over the top of the CFL to make it look like a BR30. Here you can see the top of it. It's actually quite warm. It's around 165 Fahrenheit. So you might not want to touch this when you're replacing it. You might want to wait for it to cool down. Here we have this bulb as a comparison. It's a filament bulb. It's used for the security lights outside. It also uses the E26 base. It looks like the BR30, but it's a much bigger and I guess brighter. So let's see how much power this uses. There you can see it's already using a lot. 67.7 watts. It's the most power out of all these newer technologies. The LED using the least amount of power to create a better light output. CFL being second, and then our filament bulbs using lots of power, 68 for not that much brightness. Here we see our power factor is 1, basically a resistive circuit. You can already see it's pretty hot. It's been on for a few minutes and it's already really hot. The outside is all glass. It's around 118 Fahrenheit there, but now let's move in front of the spotlight. Wow. We saw it jump up all the way to around 400 and something Fahrenheit. Let's see if I can move it. 470 Fahrenheit. This thing is really hot. I did a few calculations, and my first floor has 18 A19 bulbs and 12 BR30 bulbs. This is how much power the LEDs are using. So 169.2 watts for the complete 18, and 94.8 watts for the 12, versus the CFLs, which use much more, 235.8 over here versus and 154.8 over here on the 12. So there we can see that our LEDs are using a substantial amount less power. Now on the second floor, this is a completely different story. We have 27 A19 bulbs and 4 BR30 bulbs. Here again, 253.8 watts of power for the LEDs and 31.6 for these 4 BR30s, versus the CFLs, which use 353.7 watts and 51.6 watts respectively. So now, adding up first and second floor, every single bulb that I have in the house, the LED total uses 549.4 watts. So this is a good amount of power. But now, if we go to the CFLs, 795.9 watts. This comes down to a 30.97%, so basically 31% decrease in power consumption for my house. Basically, when I have every single light on in the first and second floor, I will be using 31% less power than if I had left those CFLs. I hope this was informational for you guys. Hopefully this changes some of you guys' minds, those of you that might be on the fence thinking about making a leap to LEDs. I would say go for it. Try out different color temperatures. If you don't like, go to Amazon, buy them. If you don't like them, return them. It's basically what I did, but finally figured it out. I'm using 4000 Ks for anywhere where I want to see, where I'm going to spend most of my time. But if you want a lighter mood, you're going to want to use 3000 K bulbs. Those I'm using on lamps that are inside the bedroom, on the side of the bed, or just as mood lights. So hope this was helpful, and see you guys on the next one.